Well, guys, we went and pulled the trigger on brand new 2021 KRX 1000 Kawasaki, and we're out here at 5 Mile in Utah. If you're from Utah, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you won't. So we're gonna get this thing unloaded and take it out and give it a little test. First day, first ride. I've done a lot of research on these, and for the money and everything, I felt like this was the best purchase for me. It's not as powerful as the Razors and Can-Ams and that, but it's supposed to be a very capable machine, so we're gonna give it a little shot out here and see what happens. So let's get her off the trailer. no mountain lions back here.
You don't want to attack this anyway. That thing's way better than I am.
Right?
Well, we might have to turn around here. Max's carnivore tires are badass too.
Yeah.
We haven't really slipped the tire anyway.
Nope. We are a long way from the road, man. That'd be a long walk.
We still got full tank of gas. I'm pretty sure the whole day trail riding this thing, you never have to worry about that.
Oh yeah.
Because I see them guys out there trail riding on videos. They don't have any gas cans with them or anything. Ooh, it's getting a little bit more
Technical?
technical out in here.
Yeah. A little bit more difficult.
Look, you can climb up a ledge.
I see it.
We didn't even know it was there. Wow, that's just awesome, isn't it?
Felt like we were going on a Sunday drive. Oh, it was just a rock. My camera's still there.
It's fun acting with brains all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna turn the camera towards me for a minute, so.
Still only one bar off the CDG, 188 degrees. Water.
So here we are, guys, south of the pickup. We were north in all that other video, but we're south of the truck here on the other side of the highway. Highway is way off over in that direction. There to the north. The sun is to the west going down. It's probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 or somewhere in there. Just wanted you to take a look at this valley, this view from here. Pretty sweet. I mean, it's nice to get out here and to be able to, I'm telling you, we've been going on trails up here and stuff that I wouldn't even take a Jeep, and if I did, I'd be beat to death. There's where we're gonna go, right up that windy, twisty, up over that hill. And this thing just feels like you're out on a Sunday drive, man. I love it. Let's go do some more. So there it is, guys. The first run of the KRX 1000. Had a great time out here today. A little windy, a little chillier day than we'd like, maybe. My eyes are watering pretty bad. That'll all change when I put the windshield in it. Got a bunch of stuff coming for this. Got a windshield, a roof, a pipe. I've got 4-point harnesses, so we won't have the regular automotive type seat belts. Got a tailgate coming for it. As you can see, this is how it comes. The thing is just open back there. There's no end gate on it or anything. I'm just buying the steel extended one that comes out there. Got a set of lighted whips coming. Got some rock lights coming for it. So I got a whole lot of stuff coming that we're going to get installed on this thing, and then she'll be ready. The last thing I got to do is I got to get front and rear bumpers for it. I need to get front and rear bumpers, and I need to get a winch, and then we're done pretty much buying stuff. Well, I'll probably never be done buying stuff for it, but for now we'll be good. So out here at 5 Mile, it's rough, it's rocky, and I'm telling you, this thing is a Cadillac. I mean, it's unbelievable. Coming along, we went across the highway over here to the south, and we went and climbed around a bunch of mountains and stuff back there, and then when we came out, we came around the mountain and we came out way down yonder there, probably 3/4 of a mile down the road, but there's a UTV road runs along. Well, you can see one going right over there, and that thing has whoops. I'm not kidding you. Some of those whoops 2-3 feet deep, and just one right after the other, and you can blow over those whoops with this thing at 40 miles an hour. And I mean, you see it coming up and you look at it and you think, oh my God, you know, I better slam on the brakes. It takes that stuff like it was nothing. I mean, you're like sitting in your easy chair in here. I am so impressed with the suspension on this thing. You don't even know. I mean, until you get in one of these. Now, I haven't done a lot in my son's Razor, so I don't know how the suspension acts in it, but I'm telling you, I know this one here, this is amazing. This thing is just amazing, and it comes from the factory with these 31-inch Maxxis carnivore tires on it and 15-inch beadlock rims. So the whole drivetrain, the gearing, everything is set up for these bigger tires that everybody else gets their side-by-side with the smaller tires from the factory, and that's the way the machine's set up, and then they put the bigger tires on, and it takes away from your power. It causes you to break stuff because the machine wasn't engineered for that size of tire. This one is. So far, very impressed. Anyway, we'll talk more about it when we get home. We're going to get this tied down and head to the house, so we'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys, we made it home. Got our KRX all cleaned up. Had a great time yesterday out there at 5 Mile. Now, you have to understand going into this, I've never owned a side-by-side before. This is the first one I've ever owned, and my experiences in them is very minimal. Any of you that have been watching my videos for a while know that I was a sandrail guy, and loved my sandrails, had a great time with them, but they were specific to the sand dunes. You couldn't take them out and go and do what we did yesterday with this. All this video was shot yesterday, and we got up this morning. We got in kind of late last night, so we got up this morning and cleaned this all up nice, and to finish out this video. So my perspective is kind of skewed because I've never owned a side-by-side. This is my first one. My son has a Razor 1000 Turbo R 4-seater, or Turbo S, or anyway, it's a 1000 Turbo. And I can tell you this much, I've driven it a couple of times is all, when we were out at the dunes, and I didn't really romp on it, or, you know, it wasn't mine, so I didn't really do a whole lot with it. But a very nice machine, a lot of power, you know. So for me, and that's the only side-by-side I've ever driven. So for me, coming from a perspective of never owning a side-by-side and hardly ever driving them, however, I've been around a lot of side-by-sides. I've seen a lot of side-by-sides and what their capabilities are and what have you. And so the things that I do know is that most people that are serious about their side-by-side, when they buy one, they come with those little tires from the factory. Everybody puts these bigger 31s or 32s or 30s or whatever on their machine. This side-by-side, this Kawasaki KRX 1000 comes with 31s on 15-inch bead locks. And I know when my son bought his Razor, he had to upgrade all that. He had to buy the beadlock wheels, the bigger tires. And of course, then he went beyond that and spent money on a whole other set of wheels and paddle tires for it for when we went to the dunes. But this one comes with them. That being said, this machine is also engineered, geared, and the suspension and everything is built for these big tires. When you buy a side-by-side from the factory that has those smaller tires, you have to understand that that machine is engineered for that size of tire. So it's just like a pickup or anything else. You know, you buy a stock pickup, that pickup is engineered to run at its peak performance and do everything, and for the gearing and drivetrain and everything to handle that specific size of tire that comes on that truck. If you put bigger tires on it, you're going to cut your power some because it's harder to turn the bigger tires. It's going to put more stress on your drive components, your axles, your differentials, your transmission, your drive lines, all of that, because the truck wasn't engineered for that size of a tire. You see what I mean? So that's a huge plus with this machine. And outside of that, I mean, it's a non-turbo machine, but from what I felt out there, maybe at the dunes I would like to have a turbo on it because you can never have too much power in the sand. But for all other applications, I have no qualms at all about the power that this machine has. Again, that being said, I've never owned a side-by-side. I've never really taken out and ripped a turbo one. I don't know what it's going to do. But we ripped this one pretty good yesterday. And for a non-turbo, naturally aspirated 1000, I think it's plenty for me. I mean, maybe down the road, I may put a power commander on it. I've got a pipe coming for it now. But I may put a power commander on it later, but we'll see. No more than I go out to the dunes. I'm going to be taking this out trail riding a whole lot more, and maybe out desert running in that a little bit. But the turbo was almost a non-issue for me. Some of you guys, I know it's all about the power. My son is that way. His 1000 Razor is turboed, and it's still not powerful enough. He wants to take it in and get more juice out of it and everything, and that's wonderful, you know. But for just an out-of-the-box, off-the-showroom floor machine, and this has had nothing done to it yet. I haven't put a single aftermarket product on it. Just out of the box. Everything you see in the video, this is showroom stock. This is how it came. I've ordered a roof. I've ordered a windshield. I've ordered a pipe. I've ordered a tailgate for it. And then, of course, I ordered 4-foot lighted whips, a pair of them, and rock lights to go up under here and what have you to dress it up, and that. And other than that, I think I ordered some more rocker switches for when I put my whips and my rock lights on. I'll have switches inside for those. But I'm telling you, the suspension travel on this machine. These huge Fox shocks, very adjustable. I cannot say enough about the ride of this machine. Again, I'm coming from a perspective of a first-time owner of a side-by-side. But, like I say, I've been around a lot of them. A lot of people have them out at the dunes, friends have them and what have you. And, man, I'll tell you what, we took this through the whoops yesterday. Some pretty serious whoops, about 2 foot high, 1.5 feet, and just one after the other, you know. It was washboardy, big whoops. And you could run those whoops at 40 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour with this thing, and it's just, you just kind of rock a little bit like you were on a, like, it's almost like galloping on a horse is what it feels like. It's amazing. The suspension on this thing just eats up the terrain. It's just ridiculous. We didn't get into anything too technical. A few places where we were on a pretty steep grade, some pretty big boulders to crawl over and that. And it never slipped a tire. I mean, this thing is amazing. So, like I say, from my perspective of never owning one before, I really did a lot of research before I bought one, because you know it's a high-end purchase. Let's be honest. You know, they don't give these things away. So this one here, stock, the way it is, I bought the 5-year warranty. I got 5-year gap insurance, and they take care of my first service. And there may be some more to it than that, but with dealer shipping and handling fees and tax and license and, you know, all that add-on fees and what have you, I was out the door with this thing for $29,000. So pretty pricey. I mean, MSRP is $20,499, but by the time you pay all those fees and sales tax and dealer shipping and handling fees, and you know, just the list goes on, it's ridiculous. And then if you're smart, you add the warranty. My brother just bought a CF Moto in Colorado, a Z-Force 800, and he loves the machine, but he had like 1.5 miles on it, and the cam bolt fell out of it. He took it back to the dealer, and because he paid for that, well, I think it came with a 6-month warranty, so he would have been okay. We would have still been covered. But they were real good about it. They rather than rebuild the motor, the existing motor, they put a whole brand new crate motor in it for him. So, you know, the warranty is a good thing to have. So, and then the payment, you know, isn't terrible on this, because I was able to finance it for 7 years. But if something were to happen to me or whatever, you know, that gap insurance is that's a good idea too. So, and again, that's all personal preference. But back to the machine, this thing there's so much room inside. The seats are just extremely comfortable. I'm a pretty beat up old guy. My knees are shot. I've pulled tore a nerve in my left shoulder back in the 90s when I was rodeoing riding broncs. So this arm really gives me trouble a lot of the time. And I'm here to tell you, I can bounce around in this thing all day long. The Sandro would beat me up pretty good. This here, I mean, I have no problems at all. It rides so well. The suspension soaks up the bumps and the rocks and stuff so well. The steering in this, I saw a couple of reviews that guys complained this electric power steering is too light, they say. They would like more feedback. Well, I'm telling you, my feedback is right here. My butt in the seat of that is where I get my feedback from. I don't need that steering wheel yanking every time I go over a rock or drop into a hole with one tire or something and have to fight that all day. You can put your arm on the door and hold that steering wheel with 2 fingers and go over anything you want to, and there's no yanking and jerking on you. I love that feature. Like I said, my arm is messed up anyway. So love that feature. It's got front differential lock, of course low and high speeds, and 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. And then it's got a power switch. If you're going up something technical, you can hit that low power switch, and it doesn't take away any power from your engine. What it does is it's kind of hard to explain, but it keeps you from over throttling it in a technical climb or something over some rocks and spinning your tires. Works really well. So engine braking on this thing in high gear, it's fair, but you're in high gear. You come down a fairly steep incline, it's going to pick up speed pretty well, and you're going to have to use your brakes. Low, when you're in low range with this, that engine brake is ridiculous. I mean, engine braking, I come down some pretty steep stuff with this out there yesterday, and I never had to get on the brakes if I was in low. I mean, it was just, you just let off the throttle and it just engine brakes down off the hill real nice. I mean, it's really, really nice. So, yeah, my overall thoughts are, I love this machine. It's, of course I love it. It's my first side-by-side. But my thoughts are, being around a lot of other ones, seeing what they have and don't have and what have you. Kawasaki was a while coming with this sport two-seater side-by-side, but they did it right. If you ask me, they did it right. This is a really nice machine. For me, it's got plenty of power. I don't need that turbo. I think that a turbo is just that much more to worry about, breaking down on you or going bad. And for a side-by-side for trail riding, what have you, this thing's got plenty of power. I mean, it's pretty zippy, even for not having a turbo. So there it is, guys. Had a great time yesterday in this thing. I'm telling you, I had more fun yesterday in one day in this side-by-side than I've ever had out with my sand rails. They break down, you have trouble, you know, they'd overheat. Of course, they're older machines. This is brand new. So it's nice to have a machine that I can just take off 10 miles from camp out on a trail somewhere and not have to worry about, you know, it's going to break down or a fuel line's going to break, or you know what I mean. It's just very nice to have something really dependable and nice. So I appreciate y'all watching, guys. As always, wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'll leave a little button down here. It really helps my channel if you'll subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, you know, click me a little like on there if you don't mind. Every little bit helps grow the channel. I think I've got 415 subscribers right now. When I get to 500, I'm going to give away an EDC knife, everyday carry knife, with a sheath, and it'll be a pretty nice little knife, 4.5-inch blade, somewhere in there. So it'll be a very nice little knife, nice giveaway, but you got to be subscribed to be able to get it. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, then you know, when I put you in the randomizer or whatever, you're not, you know, you won't be put in the randomizer because you're not subscribed. So if you want a chance to win that knife, please subscribe and share these videos with your friends and whatever. So we got a knife we're working on. We'll get back to that here pretty quick. But I've just been really swamped with work and doing other things and buying this, and so upgrading the shop and all that. If you saw my last video, I did a bunch of work in the shop. So new toolbox and a mini mill and all of that. So anyway, guys, really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Be careful when you're out in your shop or when you're out playing with your side-by-side. Oh, that's one more thing I forgot to mention. I ordered a set of 4-point harnesses for this thing because it's just got seat belts in it like a car. And my son rolled his razor a couple of times off of a dune out there at Little Sahara with these seat belts, with the car seat belts in his. He was okay and everything worked out all right, but I just, from my sandrail days, I like the security of pulling them harnesses nice and tight and just knowing that you're not going to go anywhere. So on top of the roof and windshield and all the other things I mentioned, I did order harnesses for this thing. It'll be in sometime this week, and we're going to do videos on installing all this stuff too to kind of help out the new KRX owners out there. So thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next video.